careful who you. Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell y'all a story, right? This is a true ass story, dead ass serious story. I think I was 22. I think I was 22, 22 or 23. I went to go eat. I went to go eat with my homeboy. Ain't gonna say their name. Ain't gonna say nobody's name in here, but I went to go eat with some friends, things of that nature. And they end up inviting me. Two girls end up showing up, things of that nature. Everybody end up hanging out. These girls look of age, things of that nature. When you go to my gym, you have to sign up if you're of age. So I saw one of the girls come in. She signed up to come in the gym. She's of age. Because if you're not of age, you have to have somebody watch you and they have to sign for you. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up because I've had some shit like this try to happen to me. Or one of these things I had to go ahead and let folks know because I don't play that shit. So I end up talking. So me and my friend, we end up hanging out. You know, one of his friend girls come over, things of that nature. We go eat Buffalo Wild Wings, go to the mall, shopping, things. And she had her friend girl with her. Now, she didn't look the age she was, things of that nature. She looks older. Okay, cool. Tattoos and all that shit, things of that nature. We're just hanging out. Ain't nobody thinking about cracking nobody. Nobody thinking about doing no weird shit. Good time. Everybody gets to talk, gets to be more friendly, open, and things of that nature. Now, those girls are vaping. I don't vape. Everybody vaping, things of that nature. Everybody chilling, you know, listen to music, turn up. I go to sit there and hang out with one of the girls, talk to her, things of that nature. We talking about college. We talking about cars. We talking about food, hobbies, all that. No, sexual. We go to talk about that, things of that nature. Then I get her number. We get ready to talk. We talk more than friends, things of that nature. We talking spicy, cool. I had stopped for a minute and I said, before I continue, how old are you? I had to make sure. I said, how old are you? And here's the reason why I'm saying this. Because when I was in that truck, everybody was having fun. We were all talking about college. Now, what kind of made me suspicious is that everybody in there was talking about, yeah, we go to this college, we do this for college, things of that nature. Going to do this for the school, woo, yada, yada, yada. She was vaping and she didn't talk about it. So I'm thinking maybe she don't give a fuck about it. Maybe she doesn't care. And this makes it worse. There's a bunch of grown men literally on her phone texting her. I'm talking about men, they look like they 30, 40. So she goes to sit there. So she shows me on the phone, mind you, my friend and her friend, his friend girl is in there. One of the other girls, she goes to show me that the guys, because everybody's looking. When I say she had 30-year-old men, 18-year-old, 20, she had some men in her phone, texting her spicy and everything. You know, she got the tattoos, she looks of age, she got the men texting her, she drinking, she smoke, you know. Okay. So I end up texting, right? After we love things of that nature. And then I stopped. I said, before I continue, I said, how old are you? This is what she tells me. I'm lying on flying. She says 20. I said 20. She says, yeah. So are you sure? You know that little emoji that does the smiling face with the little sweat going down? She used that emoji. And I'm glad she kept it honest. She lied at first, but I said, you sure? She said, no. I said, how old are you? She goes, 19. 2019. I said, why did you lie about being 20? You could have just said you were 19. Because she already knew. I told her, if a girl is not 21 of age, most likely I really don't want to talk to her. And the reason why I say she has to be 21 is because you got to be legal to drink. Because I don't want you, you're not legal to drink and then you drinking and you're around. No, I don't even want that. She goes to say she's 19. And I said, why did you lie about your age? And then my friend texts me. He goes, gang, she is not 19. I go, she just told, I said, what? I said, she goes to take, mind you, she has tattoos, looks older, things of that nature. I go, she just told me she was 20, now 19. I said, I don't trust her now. How old is she? He says, gang. I said, what? He goes to say, 16. Wait, So I asked her, I said, hey, what's your real age? Watch this. She goes to say, please don't be mad at me. She goes to say, I'm sick. I didn't send her no pictures. I didn't send nothing. Were we talking spice a little bit? Yeah. But this is before I didn't even know her age. And I go to say, I said, why did you lie about being 20? Why did you lie about being 19? I said, your friend is of age, but you're not. I said, why is your friend hanging out with a 16-year-old? That's what was blowing my mind. You're hanging out with adults. Everybody in this car is an adult. Why is she hanging out with you? She should be hanging out with grown-ass women, not you. You should be studying. That's what I was confused about. And I was confused why my friend knew and she knew and nobody told me this. So I'm glad nothing happened. I was like, I said, so you lied. And this what blew me. She goes to sit there and say, mind you, I told y'all she showed all of us screenshots of her talking to older men, men talking back. So that means all these men knew she was young and they still proceeded to sit there and talk to an underage girl. And this is what she gonna tell me. She says, nobody has to know. I said, nobody has to know what? She said, we can continue to talk. I said, no, ma'am. I had to take screenshots. I'm dead serious. I had to take screenshots. I said, no, ma'am. I said, respectfully, I don't do that. I said, I like women of age. I said, my girl has to be 21 or whoever I'm talking to. She has to be 21 and up. She has to be legal to drink. I said, I don't talk to underage girls. I said, I don't even talk to 19 or 18-year-olds. Even though 18-year-old girls, 19-year-old girls are legal age to talk. I said, I don't even like talking. I don't even really feel comfortable talking to them. Because you're not legal to drink. So then I say, I don't play that. I said, I don't play that. I said, I'm sorry. You got the wrong one. I said, you need to remove my number. I said, I'm going to have to block you. Before I blocked it, I take screenshots on my old phone and everything. Boom, boom, boom. And I blocked it. Immediately. And here's what blew me. The next day, me and my homeboy went to go work out. His other friend girl showed up, and that girl showed up. And I said, what is she doing here? And they said, come to work out. I said, can't work out. She's not of age. And I had to tell him to tell her that, hey, she cannot be around us. She's not of age. Was I a little mad at my homeboy? I ain't gonna lie, I was. Because if you knew her age and your friend girl knew, you should have told me because I didn't know nobody. I said, I'm so glad nothing else happened because I'm so glad the only thing was happening was talking because if it would have went left, I would have looked like a dumbass. And so now, what do? I ask for, and a lot of girls, and that's another reason why I don't really talk to girls because I ask for birth certificates. I'm dead ass serious. I go up to a girl before I talk to them. I ask them, I say, hey, can I see your ID? Can I see your birth certificate? Can I see some type of identification of your age? I dead ass do that to every woman that I get ready to talk to. Reason why? Because I have to cover my ass. Because you cannot trust, you really cannot, because what's blowing me is that I always saw videos of people saying that they were talking to somebody and thought they were this age or they looked like this age. And I'm like, okay. And I never experienced somebody lying to me about their age until that happened. You know how fucking dumb I felt? How fucking scared I was? Like, the reason why I was like, bro, I am 20. I was 22 at the time. I said, bro, I am 22. You said, you know how much trouble I could have got into? I said, even though you're in the wrong and I'm not, I said, I still would have got in trouble and I still would have looked like a fucking weirdo. I said, you can't do that to people. I said, because even though you are in the wrong and you still try to proceed to talking, even though I blocked you and said, I ain't going for that. Just by you saying nobody has to know what's blowing me. And the reason why she said that because she got away with talking to a lot of older men that said, fuck it, they didn't care. So all those men are pedophiles. Every last one of them was talking to this girl knowing she was 16. And what's blowing me is that she ended up meeting a dude that was old as shit. Like the dude was like 27 or something. And he literally showed up hugging her. And I'm thinking, I'm like, the nigga looked young. He looked like he was about like fresh out of high school. The nigga looked young. I'm dead ass serious. Clean cut, skinny, like a twig, everything. She said, no, he's 27. I said, do he know your age? Okay, how the fuck she's 16 with tattoos? It's possible. It's possible. Prime example, 11. 11 has a tattoo. 11 and 16. 11 and 16, he has a tattoo. When I was in the projects, there was a lot of 16-year-olds with tattoos. But here's the crazy thing about it. She looked like an actual grown woman. She looked like an actual grown woman. But the problem with that was that she tried to look like a grown woman, but she wasn't one. She tried to give off the appearance of she was older, the way she talked, the way she walked, the way she dressed, and the tattoos and everything, smoking and drinking. They give off the appearance. And what topped it off is that you lied about your age. So that means you have lied to probably ain't no telling a lot of people. But I said, I ain't going for that shit. And I had to tell my homeboy, I said, hey, bro, I said, listen, respectfully, I said, I'm going to need a minute to myself. I said, I don't like the fact that everybody knew except me and nobody told me. Y'all could have tapped my shoulder, let me know. Y'all didn't let me know her true age until I had to bring it out of everybody. I said, on top of that, I said, what if something else would have happened more than me just talking? I said, would y'all even told me? And her friend girl knew the whole time. And I had to quit talking to the friend girl because I was like, you knew, and I said, why are you even hanging out with her? That was, and I felt like a dumbass. And I sat there and said, I said, even though everybody was in the wrong except me, because I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't in the wrong. I'll be in the wrong if I kept proceeding and didn't give a fuck. But I said, no, I don't play that shit. That made me feel, I don't think y'all know how uncomfortable I really felt. I felt mad uncomfortable. I went home. I was like, I don't want to hang out with nobody. Because if something worse would have happened and I would have found out, I think I probably clocked myself out of jail. I ain't even sure. Because that would look so bad. Me just sitting there talking about it looks bad. The fact that I even went through that made me feel like a dumbass, and it makes me look bad. Don't even matter if I'm in the right. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that be careful who you talk to. Me, I show identification. I'm sorry. I do it every time. If I like somebody and it gets more than friends, I do this right here. What's good? Soon as I meet somebody, I'm dead. And here's the thing. That's another reason why a lot of girls don't talk to me is because I do this. I said, can I see some identification? Like I'm the fucking. I can't. I don't. That trust that I had with everybody, that shit broke after that because that right there showed me that. That right there showed me that people are willing to lie just to talk to you. You have to lie about a fucking. It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.